Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We are out in our little greenhouse today. Not very many square feet in here, but we are setting up our solar powered compost heater in order to get some good temperatures to allow all of these plants and some of those to continue growing. Took our whole system down, took our aquaponics all the way down to our basement, and we are setting up for winter here. See, all we are left with of our aquaponics is some fish poo and some water. We are going to clean this water out, basically put fresh water in here. You can see our water still flowing pretty steadily here. And this flowing water is basically the lifeline for our greenhouse. That is how we heat it all winter. We run this water through the floor of our greenhouse. You can see where our hose goes outside and where our feed hose starts up here. We are pumping water with this little tiny pump down here. Try not to pull it all the way out. It has a dry run feature, so it will not run if it's out of water. I want to keep this running because when I made my compost pile out there, which I'm going to go check out, I had to stagger up all of our coils of black hose outside in the compost pile, and I wanted to keep this system running so I knew if my water was going to stop, because this basically pumps it up and lets it gravity feed back down through our whole greenhouse back in to our overflow tank here. Aside from using just the solar powered water pump to pump water, we're actually using a solar powered fan, and it runs off this little laminated solar panel. It is in some poly type material, and it's very resistant, very durable. It has ran for over a year now, pretty well every single day. And we end up taking this and putting it down at the base to draw cold air from the floor of our greenhouse all the way up, and it'll coil through and it comes back out the black top part, and it produces hot air from our compost. So before we head out to our compost pile, I want to talk about what we did real quick. The compost pile we just made up and are ready to water in is a short-term pile. It's going to burn for maybe a month at the most. And the reason we're doing this is because we are waiting on our wood chips. We use all of our free wood chips from our local tree services, and they have not dropped yet. So we're waiting for a load of wood chips in order to get our long-term gene pain compost pile built. So I figured in the meantime, since we've been so busy working on our large greenhouse, I needed to do a little bit of work down here on this small greenhouse, because I can set this system and it will run as long as the compost pile holds heat. So that being said, let's head outside. Let's go check this compost pile out. So we had just pulled up all of our tomatoes and peppers we had over here. Nice deep compost, because we planted basically into fresh compost. So we had a huge berm over here. These chickens are getting to dig through it and find tons of food and life. Heading over to the compost pile here, you can see we used old straw bales and a lot of wood chips and chicken poo and just basically chicken bedding, and amassed about 3 wheelbarrows here. So what I did is took quite a bit of finished compost and unfinished compost and just threw it up on top, and we will take some urine and throw it up on this and just water all this in, make it nice and moist so we do not have any problems. This will guarantee a 100% hot burning compost for at least a couple weeks to a month. So this compost pile is going to suffice for about a month here until we get our load of wood chips and build our big gene pain compost pile at our 52-foot greenhouse, and we can use the leftovers down here to build a 2.5 to 3 cubic foot compost pile out of wood chips and all of the other starting materials we use, and that will get us a good burn for 5 to 6 plus months, and we will be able to heat our little greenhouse throughout our entire winter. I want to thank everybody for watching. This is a very cool little experiment that we did last winter, and we're just continuing that process and always learning. That we are not masters at this, so we are continuing to experiment and tweak the system and see what we can get for results.